Hi students, now I am going to teach about environmental legislation, laws, acts. Nowadays we are facing many major environmental problems, so enforcement and legislation laws are very necessary to protect our environment. United Nations Conference on Human and Environment was held at Stockholm on 1972. Following that, India has framed several acts: Wildlife Act, Water Act, Forest Act, Air Act and Environmental Act. According to Article 48A, the states shall try to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard forest and wildlife of our country. According to Article 51A, it is the duty of every citizen to protect and improve the environment and have compassion for living creatures. The first one we are going to discuss here is Wildlife Protection Act. It was framed at 1972 and the amendments were made at 1983, 1986 and 1991. The act aimed to protect and preserve wildlife. Wildlife refers to all animals and plants that are non-domesticated. Wildlife is declining due to human actions. The wildlife products skins, furs, feathers, ivory, etc. Wildlife populations are regularly monitored and management strategies formulated to protect them. Objectives of Wildlife Acts are to maintain essential ecological process and life supporting system, to preserve biodiversity. Important features of Wildlife Acts: it defines wildlife related technologies, it appoints Wildlife Advisory Board member, wildlife warden, their powers and duties, it lists endangered wildlife species and endemic species. Setting up of national parks, sanctuaries and zoos is emphasized by the Act. It monitors license trade, transfer of wildlife. It imposes ban of certain animal traits. It provides legal powers to officers to punish the offenders. The next one is Forest Conservation Act. This Act provides conservation of forest and related aspects. This Act also covers all type of forest including reserve forest, protected forest and any forest land. This act is enacted in 1980. It aims to arrest deforestation. The objectives are to protect and conserve forests, to ensure judicious use of forest products. The important features of forest acts are: the state government can use forest only for forestry purpose, otherwise it must seek approval from central government. It appoints an advisory committee that recommends proper funding activities. As per Amendment 1992, state government does not need a recognition from central for transmission lines, seismic surveys, but it is must for hydroelectric power plants. Cultivation of tea, coffee, spices, rubber, cash crops are coming under non-forestry activities, which is not allowed in forest. Mining, mulberry, commercial cultivation are also non-forestry. All the proposal should be accompanied by EIA and EIS. It provides legal powers and officers to punish the offenders. The next one is Water Prevention and Pollution Act. The act aims for maintaining and restoring the source of water. It also provides for preventing and controlling water pollution. The objectives of Water Act are prevention and control of water pollution, maintaining the quality of water, establishing central and state board for the prevention and control of water pollution. The important features are: it aims to protect the water from all kind of pollution and preserve the quality of water in all aquifers. It provides establishment of central boards for prevention of water pollution. The states are empowered to restrain any person from discharging sewage or effluent into any water body without consent of the board. Any contravention of the guidelines or standards would include prison sentence ranging from 3 months to 6 years. This act is not clear about the definition of pollutant, discharge of pollutant, toxic pollutant, which allow scope for misinterpretation at the time of decision whether the law is violated or not. The Amendment Act of 1978 requires permission to set up an industry which may discharge effluent. The next act is Air Act. It deals with the problems relating to air pollution. It gives absolute powers to monitor air quality and pollution control to central and state boards. The objectives are to prevent, control and abatement of air pollution, to maintain the quality of air, to establish a board for the prevention and control of air pollution. The important features are the central board may lay down the standards for the quality of air. The central board coordinates and settles disputes between state boards in addition to providing technical assistance and guidance to state board. The state boards are empowered to lay down the standards for emissions of air pollutant from industrial units or automobiles or other sources. The state boards are to collect and disseminate information related to air pollution and also function as inspectorates for air pollution. The state boards are to examine the manufacturing processes and the control of equipment to verify whether they meet the standard prescribed. The central board can advise the state board to declare certain heavily polluted areas as pollution control areas and can advise to avoid burning of waste products which cause air pollution in such cases. The direction of central board are mandatory on state boards. The operation of an industrial unit is prohibited in heavily polluted areas without the consent of central board. Violation of law is punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 months or fine up to rupees 10,000 or both. The Act, like Water Act, confers wide powers on state boards to order closure of any industrial unit or stoppage or regulation of supply of water, electricity or other service if it is highly polluting. The last one is Environmental Act. This is a general legislation law in order to rectify the gaps and lapses in the above acts. This act empowers the central government to fix the standards for quality of air, water, soil and noise and to formulate procedures and safeguard for handling of hazard substance. The objectives of Environmental Act are to protect and bring about improvement of the environment, to prevent hazards of all living creatures and property, to maintain harmonious relationship between humans and the environment. The important features of Environment Protection Acts are: it defines environment, pollution, hazardous substance and waste. It set up standards of quality of air, water and soil for various areas and purposes. It set the permissible limit for various pollutants. It gives a procedure and safeguard techniques for handling hazardous materials. It emphasizes on pollution check instrument and water treatment plants. It prohibits and restricts hazardous material usage. It encourages the 3R principle. It makes more stringent penalties such as cash fine punishment up to 1 to 5 lakhs and 5 years imprisonment.